So the message really is that his message resonated with me, and the fact that we're at 205,000 views shows it resonates with others, and that there is this realization that, and I firmly believe this, there is a realization that we are going to live a long time. Pensions are probably going to disappear. I think retirement as a concept is going to go. So what are you going to do?
All right, here we are.
Here we are.
Sue Ferreira.
You got it. Ferreira if you're
Ferreira.
proper,
Is it
if you're-
Portuguese?
Yeah, it's Portuguese for Smith.
Is that common?
It's that common, and if you think about it, it's the same as Ferreira, Ferrara, ironworker. It's ferrous, it's Smith, and it is that common in Portugal.
But see,
There you go.
you blow me away. You are such an amazing wealth of information. So welcome, Sue. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview and coming all the way from the islands. Like, I am so honored that.
Yes, to come to the mainland.
Yes.
It's, you know,
I was willing to come to you because I'm like, I'll come to the island. And like, no, I'll come over. Like, so I'm like, okay.
I
This
feel
is
like
awesome.
always feel like the country mouse coming to the town mouse when I come from the island and I come to the mainland. It's quite I love it. But I used to live here, so I do know the city. So
Well, Sue, you are an incredible inspiration. And the reason I wanted you to be a guest here in the show is because I find that you are a top example of what we all need to aspire to as we get older. So, having said that, can you share, because I know you and I know about you, but I haven't known you very long, but I
No,
feel like
no,
I know.
but I know.
Yeah, there's
it's
a
kind of
bond there.
instant, isn't it? Yeah.
But can you please share with everyone what is your background and how you got to what you do now, which you will be sharing, because I haven't shared what it is that you do. So, because I want you to share that.
Okay. I'll give you my story.
Yes.
And I'll give you the Coles notes
Yes.
of my story. Well, fundamentally, I am the most unlikely entrepreneur you will ever see in your life. I mean, there is no way. If someone just even a few years ago had said, well, you'll be here with this amazing Francesca Anastasi recording a podcast, I'd been down there on the floor in hysterics saying, no, you're out of your mind. That's never going to happen. But things happen in your life. So I've spent most of my life as a physician, as an anesthesiologist, mostly in the Children's Hospital in Edmonton. And I loved it. It was a great life. It suited me very well. I enjoyed medicine. I enjoyed the atmosphere in the OR and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, after 45 years, I didn't want to get up at 2:15 in the morning anymore. So I'm coming to the end of my time in anesthesia. And then I had one of those sad happenings. I had a grey divorce, as they call it, divorce at the age of 60 after, how long was I married? 37 years.
Wow.
And that's kind of, that's, you know, you go down a path in life and then something happens and you course correct. Oh, that was a bit noisy. Sorry about that. So I course corrected because all of a sudden I'm looking at a different life. And I'm looking at, well, a solo life and life as a woman, and really a life where I got to take care of all my finances for the first time. So that was a bit of a shock. But this was in 2007, and a year later, we all know what happened in 2008. And that's when everything really began to change for me, because I won't go into the details, but I had kind of a moment where I viscerally saw all of these people who are older and people who are younger, whose lives were going to be totally ruined by the financial crisis. And I've been doing a lot of financial reading anyway to try and, you know, bring myself up to speed. And I just felt, still, even talking about it now, I get funny down my backbone. I just felt that so many people were going to have their lives ruined. And I kind of, this little voice on my shoulder said, someone should do something about that. And I said, yeah, someone should. This other little voice said, why don't you? And I thought, yeah, right. But I did. And that's how I started on this totally different path, which I never in a million years would have guessed I was going to go on. And I started off thinking really just, I've put my life back on order. I've learned a lot of financial stuff. Let me see how I can help others. But I found quite quickly that it was difficult to have a lot of people who didn't have an entrepreneurial background understand what it would take basically to take control of your finances and move into your later years, being responsible for your own finances instead of being responsible to a pension or something else. I'll cut the long story short. I switched to looking at business women who I have a huge respect for. Business women who are working so hard and running on the old hamster wheel of life. And yet, as you say, I'm people's future, right? I've just had 70 this year, and it's been a great year of celebration.
You're amazing.
But I saw, you see things differently at that age. And also from my time in the OR, I know most of us are going to live to 100 or older because I know what's coming down the pipe medically. And I just wanted to find a way that women could get off this hamster wheel and slowly start enjoying the fruits of their wisdom. And so I switched to creating Wisdom to Wealth Mastery, where I basically take women online with video, because video is the most powerful way to get your message out right now. I mean, what are we doing? We're sitting here doing a video.
Yeah.
And so that was my transition. And it has been wonderful because I've met the most wonderful women, and I can help them go from the world where we are right now, which is mainly one-to-one or one-to-a-few, into that larger world, which is where everything has happened today, which is the world of the web and the world of the world, really. So that was Coles notes, but still quite long.
So I've seen you, and that's quite the story. I mean, like there are so many women that feel that they're in a relationship and that this is it forever, and then something like what happened to you, which is more common than people realize.
It's and increasingly.
Yes.
That's the tragedy, increasingly.
And it doesn't matter how long you've been married. Like, I was in my first marriage for 14 years, the second one for 10 years, but yours was 37 years.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Yep. It's a different direction without any doubt. Yeah.
It comes unexpected. So now, getting to what you really, really do, is I've seen you had like some fame there with Gary V. Can you share about how you did that? Like what prompted you to do that? Can you share? People don't even know about the Gary V video, what his video was and how you got to be with his video.
Okay, I mean, I think one of the real powers of going out to the world through video is that you can meet people who need your wisdom, but you also are always within one click of someone who's an influencer. And I think that's a side of going out on the web. A lot of people don't appreciate the power of it. My daughter-in-law, she's really good with social media. And she came to me about 18 months ago and she said, there's this really good book by this guy called Gary Vaynerchuk. And I thought, oh yeah, never heard of him. And she said it's called Jab, Jab, Right Hook, which is his book about social media. And anyway, so I bought it on her recommendation because she's a wise girl. And I then started looking at his videos on YouTube. And if you don't know Gary Vaynerchuk, if you want to think of the Oprah Winfrey or Tony Robbins of video marketing, that's Gary V. And he has a presence that is unbelievable. Anyway, he has one video, which I suggest if you want to go and watch. It's called 6 Minutes for the Next 60 Years of Your Life, a Rant. And I watched this video and it just hit me. And I found I kept going back to it. And the message is, you're never too old to start a business. And what was amazing is Gary V is the antithesis of me. Like, he's a New Yorker. I mean, he's a guy, and he uses a lot of words I don't use that often. And a lot of his videos... No filters. Yeah. And yet, every word he said was exactly how I felt. And I thought that was fascinating, that here you are, this funny old Brit who lives the other side of the North American continent. I've been here like 40 plus years. And his message really hit home, and I kept going back to it. And then one day I thought, well, why don't I make my version of his rant? So I just took his words, and with my British accent, I did the video. I did his video. And then I'd done it. I was just going to put it up for my friends. And I'd done it. And then I thought, I might get done for copyright. So I actually sent the video to his guys. I said, look, I've done this video. I want to put it up on my YouTube channel. Can I do so? And they said, yeah, do. Gary thinks it's great. That was the end of it as far as I was concerned. Then about 3 months later.
3 months?
It was 3 months later.
Wow, I thought it was immediate.
No,
Oh.
that's why I've forgotten all about it, right?
Okay.
I got a few views on my video. And then suddenly one morning, I'm talking to one of my daughters and my phone's going zap, 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 zap with messages. And I thought, oh, there's been a world disaster or something like that, you know. And I go to my phone and it's everything, wow, fantastic video, fantastic video. And unbeknownst to me, I didn't even know it was happening. Unbeknownst to me, Gary and his guys had taken my video and they had spliced in his and my words.
So they did that.
I didn't do it.
Oh,
There's
I thought you
nothing-
had done that
No.
part of the
If
editing.
I could do splicing that well, I'd be really pleased. No, it
Okay.
came out of the blue.
Ah.
And we're now sitting at over 205,000 views. So the message really is that his message resonated with me, and the fact that we're at 205,000 views shows it resonates with others, and that there is this realization that, and I firmly believe this, there is a realization that we are going to live a long time. Pensions are probably going to disappear. I think retirement as a concept is going to go. So what are you going to do? And, you know, I'm at the vanguard of one of the old biddies who wants to take my wisdom and help people generate income with it, and so that they can go on and, you know, have a slap up 100th birthday if you want. And I think it's just beginning. People are just beginning to realize that that's what's happening with all the changes. So that's how that video happened. And just because we were just so completely separate, yet the message was the same. Funny, isn't it?
But you were the living testimony of what he was saying. So you put a
am
face.
his avatar in that video.
Exactly.
You are absolutely right.
Yeah, and that's, I think, what made us so powerful.
Yeah.
Because he's been saying it, then you proved it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, that's why I think it hit me in the first place, because he was speaking to me and he was also speaking the message I'm sending out. It was really, it's fascinating.
Yeah. And you are a prime example, not only because of that video, but because it's something that I've been saying consistently. I always find it very upsetting to me when I bump into women my age. I'm in my 50s. I bump into them and I talk about, you know, doing new things, and they're like, oh no, that's for the young generation. I'm like, you owe it to yourself to be the example, so the young generation wants to be like you when they grow older, not dread being old.
And you know,
I want to be like you.
But you already are, you see, because you will embrace the change. And you've just said something incredibly important, because that's what I see too. And I follow a lot of young, unbelievably talented people on the web who are creating fantastic programs, but they grew up with the web. Like it's second nature to them. In fact, if you took away their cell phones, they'd probably die, right? Because it's so second nature. And then I shift to folks, and again, often women, maybe 45 and older, who came, who were born and grown up before the web. And I see this resistance too, and yet they're the ones with the wisdom, right? We've been knocked around a bit in life. We've got wonderful wisdom. They're doing great things in what I call the real world, this side of the computer screen, if you want. And there's this huge resistance to going out into what is now the real world, because things are changing so fast. And I worry about them. I mean, I do, and that's why I'm doing this, because I worry they're going to get so far behind that they will never be able to achieve their dreams and goals unless they take that, you know, hold your nose, take a big jump, and in you go into the pond of video. Yeah.
Now you, as I've seen you do this on your videos that you've posted before, and I'm not exactly sure if you're still doing this, so correct me if I'm wrong, but you just say, just push the red button.
Yeah, that's my month. Just push the red record button,
so
everybody.
Just say more about that. So what does that mean, push the red button? Like, what do you mean by that? So here I am. Let's just say I'm one of these women who just kind of, I don't know, you know, I don't know, like it's for the young generation. Let's assume it's me, okay? You're talking to me, and you say push the red button. Well, what does that mean? Like what?
Well,
what do you mean by
if you look at stats today, over 75% of all web traffic is video, and that's increasing. So if you don't take that jump into video, even if you have a website, even if you write blogs, in the next couple of years, you're going to disappear because you won't be relevant unless you are seen on video. And that's a tough thing for a lot of people to accept. And when I talk to women who are reluctant to make this jump, two things come across. There's two glaring reasons that they don't want to make that they don't want to make this jump, and they both involve, I don't want to change, I like my comfort zone. But the first one is women are very, very unconfident on camera generally. They don't like seeing themselves. I hate seeing myself too. I just look this funny old Brit, right? I don't like it either. But if you're going to survive in the world that's coming up, you've got to just get over that. You've got to do the suck it up, princess, and go for it. So the first thing is,
I like that. Suck it up,
princess, because this is where we're going. Don't be the last person with a pony and trap when everybody else is in the automobile, and especially now they're all in Teslas, right? So the first thing they have to get over is camera confidence or camera shyness, and I have ways of doing that. And the second thing which holds them back is fear of tech. And my whole thing about just hit the red record button is, even say 3 years ago, tech would be more of an issue. You can learn it because tech is only knowing which button to push on the computer, right? But there has been a huge revolution in tech in the last year. And in fact, interestingly, my blog, which I have to put up tonight, which I recorded yesterday, is exactly on this message, that if I was teaching video even 6 months ago, it would be very different from what I would teach now, because it's getting simpler and simpler and simpler. So if you think that tech is an issue, it isn't anymore, because all you have to do is pick up a smartphone and hit that red record button. And especially if you do it with Facebook, using Facebook Live, they save it for you. They do everything for you. You don't have to do a thing. But what you do have to do is take that jump and make that leap into video and just push the red button and get going.
Okay, so is that only for entrepreneurs, or when we're talking women, let's just say women who not even have a business, what would you say to them? Should they prevent, should they be, not prevent is not the right word.
Be comfortable?
No, what I mean is, should they, let's just say they're women who are working for a company, not necessarily self-employed.
Oh, yeah.
But they will run out of their pension money.
Yeah.
So wouldn't it be wise for them to start getting into this now and get comfortable?
Absolutely.
Starting a YouTube channel or something.
Starting a YouTube channel, getting used to it. And then everyone thinks, oh, I don't want to go live. But you don't actually have to go live if you're using Facebook Live. There's a way where you can just go, only me. So you can just talk to yourself. And it'll record and nobody else will see it. And if you don't like it, hit the delete button. But it's a way to practice without any tech skills. It really is. Hit the red record button, and that's all you have to do today.
I have to confess something. A couple of years ago, I don't know if you are familiar with Periscope.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so when that came out, I was all over this thing. But I kid you not, because it was live, it was that fear of being judged, fear of forgetting what to say or not knowing what to say on camera, not knowing who was on the other side. That's kind of fear. But it would take me literally 2 to 3 hours to get my lighting just right, my hair just right,
which is really all distraction. It's all, I don't want to hit that button.
But I would do it. At the end, I would do it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I even recorded myself at one point where I recorded myself prior hitting, like how I literally the anxiety that I was going through just to see myself. I don't think that will ever be published, but I do have this recording of myself going, you know, just doing these deep breathings, like so concerned about. But I have to say that the more I did it, the more comfortable I got, and now I hit that button. It doesn't take me that. I don't have to think about it. Like I can. So it's all about practice.
It's all about practice. Like you said, we fell off the bike the first time we got on it. And it's always the first one that's the most difficult. And once you've done that one, all the subsequent ones are easier. And I always tell folks to keep that first one, however terrible it is, for the simple reason, when you go back and look at it and you look at what you're doing within a couple of weeks, you'll think, wow, I have improved so much. And so I've got my first one. It's pretty awful. But it's worth it, because then you think, well, actually, I can do this.
I think I deleted my very first one. I don't think it's there. I'll check.
I went to a website a couple of years ago, and there was a video that I'd done maybe 3 years ago, That was terrible. And I was just like, oh my God, I got to get this website right now. Tell them to take that video down because it was awful. But, you know, and my videos in a couple of years will be better than they are now.
But you know what? And that not only that, the world didn't end.
The world didn't end. No one died.
That's exactly like
Yeah.
the world didn't end.
Yeah.
So going back to your program and what you offer, so in your training, what exactly do people that take your training get?
Well, my whole kind of goal and aim is to get people to where you are now, where they're quite happy to just hit the button and record their message. It's really no different from being in the real world when you do public speaking and you do networking. Same thing. Don't have to change your message, but psychologically it feels different. So instead of doing public speaking, you do video, and instead of doing networking, you do video, social media. Same thing. But I want to do it simply and easily so that folks don't get inhibited, don't get scared, and will do it with confidence and keep moving forward.
So it's camera confidence that you guide them
It's camera
through?
confidence and making them realize the tech is dead simple. And then I have a course called Video Marketing 101, because it really is 101. And I literally take women pretty exclusively. I don't, you know, guys, that's fine, but most of the folks I deal with are women. And I start you literally at the beginning of how to do a video by hitting the red button. And then I take you, again, there's an unknown of what the heck do I do with it? Where do I take it? And so initially the only 2 social media channels I focus on where I take you with your videos is Facebook and YouTube. The rest we can forget about. We'll do that in Video Marketing 202 or whatever. But initially it's just getting confident with the whole idea of getting your message right, getting it out into those 2 channels. Now Facebook Live, Facebook is, I mean, you know this, it's becoming so incredibly powerful. It is so powerful already, and I think it's going to be even more powerful.
Facebook Live. Do you think it'll be more powerful than YouTube?
They're different. They're different. They're different in that Facebook is, as we say, is the hair. You put something on Facebook and it's gone down the feed and gone quite quickly. You put something on YouTube, and as I always say, every time you put a video on YouTube, it's a mini-me. It's you marketing yourself 24/7, 365 in 24 time zones. I mean, that's pretty powerful, right? So it stays there. And the messages are different because usually when you go to YouTube, you're doing you're answering a question. You're doing a how-to. Because people, it's a search engine, right? And soon it's reckoned it might actually be it'll overtake Google as the biggest search engine in the world. Now Google doesn't care because it owns them both. But that is showing you the power of video. If people are going to go to YouTube to find things out more than Google, and you're not there, bingo, right? Facebook is much more what we're doing right now. It's more immediate, it's more personal, and it's more chatty and educational, but it doesn't stay. So there are strategies for each of them. And Facebook's easier. I do teach, it's a little bit more fiddly to get ranked on YouTube, and that's something I know a fair amount about, to be able to get you to, instead of having 6,300 videos and 1 subscriber, which sadly is the state for a lot of people, right?
I need your help.
Well, it's learning how to get subscribers and be seen, because again, you can disappear. So YouTube is a little bit more fiddly. Facebook is very immediate and very powerful.
Because the people already following you will see
you. And there's 2 billion people on Facebook. You want an audience? If there isn't someone in 2 billion people who you appeal to, well, you probably better rethink what you're doing. But it's just so powerful and rising every time. And I mean, that's 2/7 of the world's population, and that's pretty good pond to fish in.
That's fantastic.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. So the training you provide and the service you provide to your clients, the clients don't have to be with you. You can do this
I do it all
remotely
online.
from all over the world. And
all over the line.
Anybody can be anywhere.
Anyone can be anywhere. We do it online. At the moment, I use the platform Zoom, which you probably know. I may well change to other platforms as they're coming out. But I think the other thing that folks, that they hesitate about going into video because I think it's going to be expensive. And today,
it's not.
Zippo, it is, if you've got a smartphone, and if you haven't got a smartphone, well, then you're probably in trouble anyway. But if you've got a smartphone, the rest is free. YouTube's free. Facebook's free. They're all free. So it's there. You don't need any money. You don't need any equipment. Maybe
you just push the red button.
You just push that red button, right? And that's all it is. So I guess mainly my mission is getting folks over these resistances to say, you're going to be fine. Just do it this way. Hit the red button and away you go.
So there you go.
Yeah,
if you have fear of hitting that red button,
that's what I get rid of.
Sue is the gal.
Yep.
She is the hero.
I've had people freeze totally in front of a screen, and I can always get them through it.
Yeah.
By various tricks.
Well, of course you would, because you're Wonder Woman. I love you. And you're such an awesome example. On top of that, I don't know if you know this, but I noticed you did a 30-day challenge. You were every day while you were traveling.
Yeah, and I failed. Did you see my follow-up video? It was known as Epic Fail.
Really? No, I did not see that one.
Well, I wondered if I'd be able to do it, but I was going over to the UK.
How far did you get?
I got 11 days into the 30.
Okay, so see here. Okay, so here's the thing. So this is awesome, actually. This is not that you failed, but it is good because it shows that we're all human.
Yep.
And it's okay to start a challenge and fall off.
Yep.
So are you going to do another one?
Yep. I'm starting another one today.
Right on. For how long is this one going to be?
Well, there's one that's 5 and one that's
5
10.
days.
5 days.
So now you're measuring it.
Well, I knew 30 would be pushing it, but it was the time I was away. And I thought, if I can do a video day while I'm celebrating in the UK, my daughter's wedding, meeting all my new son-in-law's family, wow, that would be amazing. But
okay, so was the challenge the challenge of not completing the challenge, was that because you were so busy with the family, or was it because it was
I could make the video, that's easy, but it was having the time at the end of the day to go up and edit it and post it. That was the
so the challenge was to edit your videos.
Well, just to put them together, make sure, because sometimes, you say something silly and you want to chop that bit out. So the challenge was getting it to a state where I reckoned it was okay to post. And so that was the challenge. Yeah.
That is awesome. Okay, so Sue, if our audience wants to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, they can get in touch with me at my website, wisdom2wealthmastery.com, or on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/wisdom2wealthmastery. And in fact, in 2 weeks, I'm starting a weekly Facebook Live where I'm going to literally start going, okay, this is what we do first. And every week, Tuesday mornings, 9 o'clock, we're going to have a Facebook Live just going through how to get online with video. So if you wanted to make a note of that, and also have a look at my YouTube channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and that also is YouTube at Wisdom to Wealth Mastery. And that's the ways to get hold of me. Also, if you just want to call me, info at Wisdom to Wealth Mastery, email me. I always have a complimentary call if folks just want to mull over whether video will fit them or how video will fit them.
That is awesome. You're such an inspiration.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy.
Thank you for inviting me. You are inspiration too, and it truly is an honor. I've met the most wonderful, wonderful women in my change of career. So I'm grateful too.
It's all good. So we're going to leave everyone by saying, just push the
red record button. That's right. And we've been doing that. You did it.
I did it. Yeah, we're doing it. So here we go. So you can do it. Okay, here's the thing. If I can do it, anybody can. It's really, truly that simple.
It is that simple. Yeah. And you've done it. And once you've done it,
you've done it. You're pro. You're veteran. Yeah. There you go. Great. We're going to push the red button because this time we're going to end the recording.
Excellent.
Right?
We're going to end it. I've done that a couple of times on Facebook Lives. I've forgotten to end the recording. Got to remember to push the red button at the end too. Okay. You look silly as you walk around the room and it's still going live.
I'm really going to push it now.
You're going to push it now.
Ready? You want to push it together?
Yep.
Here we go.
Push it.